everyone, welcome back to Pagers and Pages, where we are medical students who read more than just textbooks. I'm Erin.
And I'm Alondra.
And today is our third episode of Hunting Adeline, the second book in the Cat and Mouse Duet series.
Yep.
We left off last time on some heavy plot twists, so we're ready to dive in this time.
Yes, we are.
But before we do that, we have some exciting news.
Yeah. What's exciting? Oh, I'm engaged.
Woo! I was like, you were just singing this song about wanting a ring. I was like, oh, I thought that's what you were talking about.
I know, but we have so many exciting things happening.
Oh, I guess we do.
Yeah. Also, yes, I am engaged, but also we have our match coming up in T-minus like 2 days.
Like basically a day because it's almost midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had Match Monday already, so we both know that we at least matched a residency position, which is super exciting.
We have a job.
Yeah, we have a job, and then in like a little over a day, we find out where that job will be, which is super exciting. For anyone who like is not familiar with the way the med school process works, I highly encourage you to look up match videos because they're very heartwarming. It's basically like everything that we've done so far in our career culminates to like this week. You know, it's like everything from like high school getting into college, college getting into med school, and then like passing all the exams in med school, and now we finally like get to do our like basically, well, I want to say final stage of training, but it's like you're now getting on the job training where you get at least paid. You are a doctor, you're a resident physician, you know.
Yeah. You're getting paid to take care of people.
Yeah, do what you actually want to do.
You're learning a lot on the job.
Yeah.
And it's grueling work, but it's fulfilling work.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It'll be a long road, but a good road, you know?
Yeah.
So our week has been a lot of like, hurry up and wait, you know, because we wake up Monday and it's like 10 a.m. The email comes out and it's just like, congratulations, you matched. Oh, well, like hopefully that's what it says.
Yeah.
And we were very fortunate that our friends, we had 6 out of 6 match, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Monday was like a great day. We got to do some celebrating, and now Friday we find out where we're going.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus this one now has a rock, so that's fun.
Oh, like a ring. Oh, like a ring.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's been fun starting to like distract ourselves with talking about like wedding
With
stuff.
life, yeah.
And like, yeah, so like talking to you about like wedding stuff, what you want to do, or like depending on where I match for residency, I'm considering like buying a house. So us like sitting on Zillow, like looking at houses, or sitting on like some like bridal websites, like scrolling through dresses and stuff. I feel like it's been good for the mental health.
It has been good for the mental health. It's like we're living all the life we didn't live in the 4 years of medical school. We are living in these 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. That's very true. I just got back
cram it all
from
in.
I just got back from being at my parents' house helping my dad like renovate my brother's bathroom, which was super fun because we like stripped it down. Like we had to redo piping and like all the walls were exposed, everything. The floor was down to bare concrete. And by the time I was there for like a week and a half and got to the point where the walls were all closed. They were not yet like textured and painted, but there was at least no more like wood and pipes exposed anymore. And the ground was tiled with like the shower prepped to tile. So like it's in a good place that I think my dad can finish it. So yeah, we've definitely been like in that journey of like, what are we going to distract ourselves with now? Or like my house is now full of plants because I got on this like hydroponic, like tabletop hydroponic kick. So now I have like a million plants everywhere, and I just got my first like harvest of some plants.
Yeah.
So we've been having fun with that.
A lot of fresh herbs.
Yeah, exactly. I grew some mint. So we made our own like mint chocolate chip ice cream the other day, which was super fun.
Yeah.
And it actually turned out pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. Sir, you don't need to eat her hair. Come down here.
He's like stepping on it.
Come down here. This is the Bosif, the Bo the hoe. He's wanting cuddles, but I don't know if he's going to end up settling down and cuddling with us. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see.
I'm sure we're going to be here long enough that he'll figure out if he wants to actually cuddle with us.
Oh, for sure.
So we left off on quite the cliffhanger.
Yup.
Because chapter 20 ended with Addie, like, running out of the house into the woods, running away. And yeah, you ready to just like dive right in?
I'm ready.
Okay, good.
I'm so ready.
We've been traveling and all this fun stuff that we've been waiting to talk about these chapters for what, at least 3 weeks,
At
right?
least 3 weeks, yeah. It's been pretty intense, and it sucks because like I was on vacation with my now fiance, and I finished reading the book, like not the book,
chapters,
finished reading these chapters. And then I was like, I have to wait like 3 weeks to talk to Aaron about it. And this is like insane. Because also this one ends off on like a really good plot point too. So it's like...
Yes. I don't know how we manage to do this to ourselves every time. But we dive into chapter 21 that is from Zade's perspective. And he's working with Dare, one of the guys that's from the Basilisk Brotherhood.
Yes.
To like try and find Addie now that they have info, a little bit more info from Jillian and Gloria. Like they at least have some sort of search radius that they can kind of start finding stuff. And finally Dare is like, oh, like I think I found something. Because Zade is kind of like hover pacing, you know,
over his
like
shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Like watching everything that he's doing. Like, is he gonna find something? Finally, he finds something, and it's this house that fits like all the descriptions that Jillian gave. It's within their radius, and they find out that the house is owned by someone named Rocco Bellucci, which we as the audience are like, they found the house!
They did it!
It's the right house, yes. So Zade calls Jillian. And was basically like, do you know who Francesca's brother is? Like you mentioned that Francesca had a brother. And Jillian's like, well, I don't know his last name, but I know his first name was Rocco. And Zade's like...
He's like, that's it. We got him.
Yeah.
You know, bring in everybody. Let's do this.
Yeah, and I feel like he was a little hesitant to let himself...
feel the hope.
Yeah. But we as the audience are like, it's okay, be excited, you got the right place.
Yeah, we're like, go, 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 go.
As fast as you can.
Get a helicopter.
Yeah. And so he also like kind of describes the house a little bit, and Jillian's like, yeah, that's the house. Yep. So yeah, Zade is like telling Jay like, yeah, we've got her. We've got the house. We've got the right place.
Yeah. I love that Zade tells Jillian, he's like, Jillian, and she's like, yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna murder so many people for you.
Yeah.
Because like she confirmed this is where Addie is.
Yep, exactly. So Jay goes on his like techie spree where he's like sending drones over the house and all this stuff. And Zade is already like on his way.
They're on their way.
Yeah, he's in the Mustang driving, and like the house is a madhouse. There's people everywhere, like a full, like you would think that like a child went missing. You know how like when you see,
rescue.
yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah, like when it's just like tons and tons of people like fanning out, looking through the woods, and they're looking for like Addie. Yeah. And so they're like, it's, you know, it's got to be he gives the guy that like pulls Zade over, kind of like, why are you here? Or like Zade is like, what are you guys doing? What are you looking for?
Yes, because they're in the car and they're close by, and they get pulled over.
Yeah, and the guy's like, oh, we're just looking for my dog. The bitch is priceless. And Zade was like, through his earpiece, he's like, Jay, did you hear that? That's definitely Addie. That's Addie.
Yeah.
So yeah, they found out, like, I guess kind of some coincidental data is that within 45 minutes of where this house is, because like, okay, 45 minutes is probably like the closest big city because we know this house is like in the middle of nowhere. They found out that Xavier Delano had been booking a hotel room like 45 minutes away every week for the past like month. Yeah. And so they're like basically they're getting more and more info that they feel pretty confident
that this is the house where Adeline is.
This is where she is. And so they had found the railroad line when they were looking on the map ahead of time. And Zade was just kind of like, I have this feeling that if that's where if she escaped, that's where she went. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So Jay kind of like guides him to drive to the railroad, and he's like, okay, Dea and I are going to go this way. Michael and Ruby, you know, the two people that work in his organization. He's like, okay, Michael and Ruby, you are going that way. Me and Dea are going this way. And so they like, because they get to like the middle of the train. Yeah. And they're like, okay, divide and conquer. And that's like everything for that chapter. It was a very short chapter, but very thrilling we were like, oh my God, he's so close.
Yes, the blood is pumping. Like, yes.
Yeah, did you like think anything else about that chapter?
No, this chapter was like, hurry up and get your butt over there, please, please.
Yeah, and I don't know like if anybody really has been paying that much attention, but like I've kind of switched to like a sticky note method, because instead of writing stuff, like taking the time to write notes, like the plot is moving too fast that I'm like, I just am gonna put a sticky note that I'm like, I just know I need to come back and talk about this part, because I'm not taking the time to write anymore. Yeah, and now we get Addie's perspective for chapter 22. Yes. Which is lovely. Yes. 'Cause she's like running through the woods, and she knows she's getting close to the train, and she's like tired. She's exhausted because she's also emaciated and out of shape, and she can hear them like yelling for her, like looking for her, them being the people that were trapping her. Yeah, exactly. Not Zade and Ruby.
She can hear them trying to find her, and she's trying to hide in the railway.
Yeah, because she made it to the train, and she kind of has this split decision of like, do I keep going? Like, do I follow the train track, or do I take the risk of like hiding in one of the train cars? What would you have done?
I think it depends actually. If I heard them coming, I would hide in the train track. Like I would hide in the carts. Yeah. If I didn't hear them coming, I would try to put as much distance between me and them as possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's like a what is the situation like? If she is exhausted and can't run any farther, her adrenaline has taken her like as far as it can go, then like you need to hide in the cart, and then like do whatever you can to try to like hide your body basically. Yeah,
I think that's the choice that I would have made. You know, like she made it to the train, which is already further than I think she expected to make it. Realistically. And I think the fact that you can hear them already looking for her, I think it's her best chance to hide. Because I don't think she's going to be able to outrun them. Yeah. With as tired as she is. Not in her state, yeah. Yeah. And she's already like, oh, like I can't breathe. Like she's feeling the months of not getting enough food or exercise. So I think she made the right choice. But the way that she goes about hiding in the train car made me laugh, because we already know that Addie's like kind of on the verge of like a psychological break, you know, like how we had seen her with the like drawing the clown smile, and like we know that she's like at a breaking point. So she sees that there's a hatch open in the top of one of these train cars. And she gets up there and she starts singing Itsy Bitsy Spider to herself about like this going down inside the thing. And I was like, well, hey, whatever works. And it made me sad though, because then she gets in and she like kind of settles in, and her last thought before she's able to fall asleep is, yeah, I think this is a good place to die. Because you know what, like at least she knows like if she were to die right then and there, she at least got out of the house. Yeah. I feel like I would be at peace with that. You know? No.
I would only be at peace with it if like I knew that I was gonna get taken back and then I died.
Oh, like you died before they could take you back. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. That's true.
Because I think right now, if I was Addie right now, I'd be full of hope.
Oh, this is not the time that you're ready to die.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm going to hide out here. If I play my cards right, if I'm lucky, if God is on my side, we'll get out of this.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. And we have this like super cute moment now where she wakes up in the train car and there's these little like chipmunks in there with her, and she's like, oh my God, my grandma loves little squirrels, and I'm going to name you May because my grandma was born in May. And I thought, oh.
It's like the first time, and I think she says it, like it's the first time that she actually experiences like a certain level of like joy.
Yeah. 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 exactly. So it was like a nice little like, oh, like that's cute. And then she starts like looking around this train car, and she has this moment of panic after the little squirrels like run away, and she's like, fuck, I didn't think about how I'm gonna get out of here. Because the train car is like too tall for her to just jump up and like grab the ceiling of the hole that she like came down in, and there's no ladder. Yeah. So she's like, how the hell am I gonna get out of here?
She's trapped.
She's trapped
in a coffin.
Yeah, she's trapped. And she's starting to hear voices outside of the train car now. And she's like, fuck, they're gonna find, like, I have no way to get out, so I can't run. And I'm like a sitting duck. Yeah. They're gonna find me. Yeah. And she starts hearing these voices, like, kind of having like an altercation. They're yelling at each other, like, hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And then, like, this is private property, blah, blah, blah. And she's, like, hearing shouts, and then she hears a gunshot. Yeah. And she's like, what is...
And everything goes silent.
Yeah, like, what is going on?
And it's like one of the guys was coming up. Like, somebody was coming up to climb up on the cart. Yeah. And she was hearing them, and she was like, oh, this is it. And then the fight breaks out, and then everything goes silent.
Yeah, because she hears someone be like, oh, that hatch is open.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, it caught me.
Yeah, and, like, this was definitely making my, like,
oh, my God, yes. I'm
blood
like, who's
pressure
gonna
high.
open the hatch?
Yeah, because she's like, oh, no, no, like, trying to, like, hide herself in the train car somehow, like, looking for a place to hide, any way to get out. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, there's a face in the hatch, and she starts, like, describing, like, oh, one blue eye, one, like, dark eye, and she's like, Zade? And it's him! Oh, my God. It's him!
I know, and you, like, when you read that part, you're like, ah!
Yeah, and so he just, like, climbs down in there, and they're having their moment of him being like, I'm here, I've got you, you're safe now. Oh, how did you feel?
I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I was relieved. I was like, okay, he's here. But also, like, I'm the type of person that I'm like, okay, we're not in the safe zone yet. Yeah. Like, we can't celebrate yet. Like, literally, get out. Because there's still a bajillion people looking for her.
Yes, exactly.
So get out.
Yeah, like, have your moment, but, like, we can actually celebrate later.
Yeah, like, I was partly nervous that they were going to get caught.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that the thing that got me really, yes, I was, like, super excited about, like, Zade finding her. But then they say, like, you just hear this soft little voice that's like, Addie? And she looks up and it's Dea. And she's, like, sobbing, seeing Addie there. And he just, like, lifts her up out of the train car. So, and Dea's just, like, holding her. And I was like, her friend. Oh.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what Dea must have been feeling, like, to see her.
She probably thought she was never going to see her alive.
Yeah, yeah. Because also now, like, to see Addie so, like, thin and cut up, you know, like, she's beaten up and skinny and, in really bad shape. But, yeah. It just, it was such a good reunion. It was a good reunion in the sense that, like, I knew it was coming because we knew that, like, Zade and Dea were looking for her, and we knew they were at the train at the right time. But also I still had that adrenaline of, like, oh, shoot, like, what if they aren't the ones that find her first? Yeah. Like, and Dea's describing, like, this man literally lined himself up and killed both of these guys with one bullet. Bang! And Dea's like, I kind of admire him, but also the bitch is fucking crazy. Yeah. And Addie's like, we have a lot to talk about. Yeah. And so it's, like, great that, Addie knows that she's rescued, but this is the end of part 1 of the book. And it just ends with Addie saying, like, I know I'm safe now, but it feels like I'm still in hell. Yeah. And I think this is kind of the author's way of, I don't know if you can consider it foreshadowing when it's literally 1 page away, but basically, like, alluding to the fact that Addie has a long road of recovery ahead of her.
Yeah. The recovery is going to take time. Like, you don't just get out of, like although we would love to read about how great she's doing, the reality is, like, if it were a quick recovery, we would sit here and be like, that is completely unrealistic.
Yep. Yeah, and it's like one of those things where Addie's trauma presents itself in ways that she doesn't fully expect. Mm-hmm. So like, for example, that part ends with a note, and she's like, I don't think I can fully like accept my freedom yet. Like, it still feels like a dream. It doesn't feel real. Mm-hmm. And we know before, like, she was doing the same thing that her Gigi was doing and like signing her journal entries with lipstick. And then she's like, oh, my lipstick isn't the same color. And I cried about that. And, you know, like, that's one of those things where like that probably wasn't something that she would have thought would hit her. Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that like, one of the few things that kept her sane in the house was writing her journal entries. Mm-hmm. And just it just hit her that like, oh, my lipstick isn't the same color, you know? Yeah. So Addie definitely has a long road ahead of her, but at least she's out. And I feel like this is truly where I felt like I could make the statement of like, we are on the way up. You know?
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a very good chapter. Another very like fast moving chapter where I was just like, oh, like who is it that's gonna find her?
Yeah, just like going like fast.
Yeah. And so now like we go back to Zade's perspective, and he's just kind of talking with Jay about like they are trying to like be in full hunter mode. They're looking for Francesca, they're looking for Rocco, they're looking for Rick and Rio, they're looking for Claire, like, and so far they're not having like any leads on finding anybody, but they are at least
like
trying.
The minute they realize that Addie is no longer like on the property and that Zade has her, poof, they vanish because they know that he's coming for them.
Yeah, realistically, it's crazy that it took till then for them to be like, oh shit, like he's coming for us, you know? But yeah, they do all like vacate. And Zade is kind of describing like, he wanted to go into this protector mode where he wanted to take Addie to his place. And Addie was like, no, I refuse. And she's like, I've been holed up in a prison for long enough and I don't want to find myself in another. Mm-hmm. Which made me super sad, mm-hmm. but also like I get it, mm-hmm. because I feel like at that point all I would want would be my own bed, my own house,
Which is also like, I thought that it was kind of dangerous because it's like they know where you live, like Claire knows where she lives, so it's kind of like I understand the not wanting to be locked up, but I think that it's also, at least right now, still very dangerous for her to be back at Parson Manor. But I also get it.
Yes.
Because it kind of gives, like, spoiler alert for ACOTAR, if you have not read, like, the second book of the ACOTAR series, but, like, if he had taken her to his house, it would have given Tamlin locking Feyre up in the mansion.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, Feyre goes through under all that trauma under the mountain, and then like the only thing that Tamlin can think to do is like, oh, I gotta lock her up, and like he's very misguided, but he's kind of like, oh, if I like lock her in the house, then nothing outside the house can get to her. But it was the absolute wrong thing to do after she had just been imprisoned under the mountain. And I was thinking the same thing, that this does give an adjacent like vibe.
Choice. It's an adjacent choice, and
Zade
chose to have her be comfortable and go back to Parson Manor.
Yes. And he at least is like, okay, but I put guarded the house crazy, and he's basically moved into the house.
Yeah, he basically like moved in.
He's like there all the time. And then he also talks about like he took her to his personal like surgeon that treats the girls he rescues, that like patched her up, gave her fluids, gave her nutrients, you know, like physically helped her. And then he also had his psychiatrist come and see her. Yeah. And he's like, I think the psychiatrist has been like helping a lot, you know, like slowly getting her, I hate to say back to normal, because she will never be the person that she was before before she went through all of this.
But back to functional.
Yes, exactly.
Functional, being able to be alive again.
Yes,
being
exactly.
Being able to live life again.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you actually already brought up the parallel of Feyre in ACOTAR, because I had a different moment where I really wanted to bring that up, and it's that she is like waking up in bed, thrashing, screaming, sometimes throwing up, like having a really hard time reorienting herself, and that like blurred moment of like, what is a dream, what is reality, I'm still in fight or
safe here?
Yes, exactly, I'm still in fight or flight mode, everything is a threat, and honestly, like, Zade does a really good job of like helping her through it, you know. He never wants, like, he takes it, you know, he never once takes it personally, but he takes
he
it,
absorbs it,
yes,
and like, that's it. It's not reflected back onto her.
Yes.
Like, it's not like, why aren't you better yet?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, okay, this is part of the process. You need to like, it's almost like when someone is like, has so much trauma, it's like they have all this like built up like energy that they need to like dissipate.
Yes.
And sometimes that comes out in like, you know, lashing out at loved ones and stuff like that, and she just needs to dissipate that.
Yes. And it kind of reminded me, so Zade, because this chapter's from Zade's perspective, it reminds me of the moment where Rhys rescues Feyre from her wedding with Tamlin. And she's like, doesn't know what she's feeling, but she lashes out and like throws the shoe at him, and he kind of smiles like, good. Like, she actually cares to like fight right now. She hasn't fully given up. And so like I feel like Zade describing some of the ways that Addie starts to like lash at him, he's like, okay, at least she's giving me something. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And then we learn that Jay and Zade are talking, and they rescued Katerina, Rio's sister.
Yeah.
So we know that she's like rescued. She's kind of like Addie right now, still, where she like is still a little unstable, not really speaking. Yeah, but she's at least safe, which made me happy to know that quickly they found her and rescued her. And he kind of talks about like, I didn't believe her. Like, it kind of seemed like Addie was in like a fever dream, the way that she just kept talking about a sunflower field. And he was like, but that's how we found her, was the sunflower field. So yeah, they were able to rescue her.
What do you think of what do you think at this point Zade rescues Rio's sister?
Yeah.
I say simply on the sole principle of it's another girl that needs to be rescued, and he did make it possible for her to get out.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like, we'll get to it a little later also.
Yeah.
But if you're Zade, once you rescue Katerina, what do you think? What's your thought process?
If, like, from Zade's perspective, I don't think he cares that Katerina's rescued. I think he wants Rio dead. I think, though, you can still argue that it's like, what's the point of rescuing her? If, like, not what's the point of rescuing her, because that sounds terrible. But it's like, who does she have on the outside if you kill Rio?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I can empathize with the idea of not killing Rio.
Yeah.
However, I think at this point in time, Zade is still like, nah, he's got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think, like, I don't think Zade cares.
Yeah.
I don't think Zade cares. I think Zade is like, she's safe. She is going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And
whether she has Rio alive or not.
Yeah. And you can argue that she technically hasn't really had him, right? Because he's had to be out and about, like, doing whatever work people are telling him to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she didn't really have him. She only had him, like, in spirit in a way. Like, him being in line kept her safe.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I feel like as of right now, the verdict is still very much out on Rio's fate, even though she's rescued.
I'm interested in seeing what will happen, and I have my predictions that we can talk about after.
Yeah, because at least in this set of chapters, we still don't know what his fate is going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Addie is kind of slowly starting to make some progress. Like, she's taken the psychiatrist's advice and has started doing more journaling. And Zade kind of like he like sees her journaling and doesn't walk in the room, and she like doesn't acknowledge him at first. And I just love that she's like, well, I see you're still creepy. Yeah. Because he's like watching her from the doorway. And it was that moment where I was like, oh, that's like a glimpse of Addie, like healing, you know, the snarky kind of comment. And I just really love their interactions. Like, they start being very honest with each other about stuff. Yeah. Like, she has this moment where, so he walks in and he's got flowers, and he's like, oh, Jay like brought by some flowers. And Addie was like, well, that's sweet of him. I probably should have met him. He's your friend and he helped save both of our lives. I need to thank him personally. And she like kind of has this moment of like almost looking guilty that she didn't like go downstairs while he was there and meet him. And he was like, oh no, like Jay's not going anywhere. Like
yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. And they kind of start having these like chitty chats where she jokingly is like, oh, like, are there still like cameras here? Like, well, are you watching me? And he's like, I'm not gonna watch you unless you give me a reason to, meaning like
try to kill yourself.
Self-harm. Yeah. So like they are getting back to some of their banter, but it's still like hard stuff.
Yeah, it's still deep, like it's still like very charged and very serious topics.
Yeah, and he basically finally is like, you need to go take a shower. And she's like, what? I don't smell like roses. And he's like, there are some flowers out there that really stink, and believe me, you smell like those flowers that smell like ass. Yeah. What are you doing? That's my cat, Bella, my other cat. You've never made a podcast appearance before. She probably still.
Oh, look at Bo.
She's probably still not going to come up here and actually grace the camera with her appearance.
He looks like he's ready to pounce.
Yeah, it's because that was her cry of like, play with me. She was trying to bring me a hair tie. So now he thinks that she's going to play with him, and she's not. She doesn't want to play with him. She wants to play with me. You're going to have to wait. Okay. So anyway, he convinces her to take a shower, and he's like, oh, like, I'll make sure when you come back out of the shower, there's like clean sheets and stuff. And she's like, hey, Zade. And he's like, yeah, baby. And she's like, thank you. And it's just like the thank you was like the thank you, yes, for like getting me to shower, washing the sheets, changing the sheets, but also like, thank you for like the healing, like the way you are allowing me to heal. Yes.
Yes. Because he's being very, very
he is
patient
being
with her.
Very patient with her. Yes. Very, very patient. And so they start having these like other little conversations where like apparently her mom is going to come visit her. And so it's like to distract her from talking about other stuff, he starts talking to her about her mom, and she's basically like, yeah, my mom's fucking nuts. Like all this stuff that she just never understood me. She was a very like prim proper person, did beauty pageants, marry the rich man, live life lavishly, like all that stuff. She's like, my mom and I could not be more opposite. Yeah. Like honestly. And so they're doing like some little heart to hearts and stuff. And Addie's like, you realize I don't even like know your last name. Yeah. Or how old you are, like when is your birthday? Like I don't actually know like
anything about you.
Yeah, anything about you.
It's almost like they're dating right now.
Yes, exactly. So he says his last name is Meadows, which I actually like very much. It's a very pretty last name. And his birthday is September 7th. And Addie's like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that you're a Virgo.
I know, right? I was like, oh, interesting.
Okay, I don't know that would have been my response, but very nice. Yeah, and anyway, he's basically like the chapter ends with him thinking to himself like, okay, like this is okay, like I've got nothing but time to like help her like
get better.
So I feel like this chapter
this chapter was them like dating, her healing a bit, and like just like getting out of the fog of the trauma.
Yeah, and I feel like this chapter was very happy sad for me, where I was very happy to see their interactions, the little moments of her like kind of being her, like
being alive again.
Yeah, exactly. But then also sad about being like, this is a long, long road. She's got a lot that she's got to unpack still. Yeah. You know? Oh, yes. And there was something that you mentioned in the last episode of thinking that she had stabbed Sydney in the eye. It came from this journal entry where there was like, she's divulging some of the traumatic things that happened to her in the house that like we didn't read in the other chapters, you know? And so there was a picture of she's saying that there's a picture that was drawn on the walls. There was a stick figure with the head severed off and red smeared all over it. And Sydney had told Francesca that Addie drew it, but it was actually Sydney that drew it, and she had like smeared period blood on the wall drawing and like got Addie blamed for it. And so the punishment was that Addie had to clean it with her toothbrush.
Oh.
But like we know, like, and they thought like, oh, Addie like has to now brush her teeth with this toothbrush. Rio actually gave her a new one, so she never did, but like she said she considered sharpening the end of the toothbrush and stabbing the eye stabbing Sydney in the eye with it.
I see. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's where I got that from.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then she was like, oh yeah, and then it'd be funny to like with the missing eyeball like have her like blood smeared all over it, like, oh no, that would be funny. So I was like, oh, like Addie went through some shit more than just the rape. You know, like she went through psychological warfare primarily with Sydney.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah. And that's the end of chapter 23.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now we're 24.
Yeah. So 24 starts with Addie being like, I need you to take me to a clinic, to Zade. Yeah.
Let me tell you about this chapter. Ooh.
Yeah.
I got a cramp in my back. Ooh.
Not a cramp.
Oh gosh.
Cramp.
Ooh, I leaned back so hard, my age is showing.
You spasmed?
Yeah, ow, it's still there. It hurts.
Oh God.
Give me a second, guys. Just trying to oh shoot. Trying to breathe through it. Oh my gosh. This sucks. Oh my god. Ah, don't make me laugh. Oh. Okay. Oh shoot. I need a minute. Oh my gosh. It's still there. Oh my gosh. Ah. Ah.
You sound like you're giving birth.
Ow, I'm like sweating now. Oh gosh, that's so painful. Oh.
Do you need to like move? Like
I'm trying to, but it's more painful the more I move. Okay. Okay, I think it's resolved. Shoot, that was crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm really getting old.
Yeah. That was funny.
Okay. So, not like I don't want to like not to reiterate like what like how do I say this? In this chapter, Addie asks Zade to take her to the clinic, right? My first thought is, hold up. This hadn't already happened?
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of like, now? Because she's like a couple, like, weeks,
like
right?
2 weeks, yeah, like 2 weeks
after
out.
being rescued.
Yeah.
And, like, of course, like, the things that are of concern are, like, pregnancies, STDs,
yeah,
and, like, all the above, right?
Yeah.
And in this chapter, it's, like, it's tragic because she has to face the reality of, like, what happened to her once again, and there might be some long-term consequences.
Yeah.
You know? And I know that, like, all the sexually transmitted diseases, like, a lot of people think about, like, the classic ones, but you can get, like, hepatitis B, like, sexually transmitted, you know, like,
all kinds of
stuff. And that, increases your risk of, like, certain cancers and, you know, HPV, like, things like that. And I had such a issue with the fact that it was happening now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it should have been, like, in that checkup with the doctor, it should have been, like, then.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we end up finding out that, like,
not yet. About what she has?
No. I was gonna say that, like, her IUD is in place, like, when she goes to the doctor. So it's like, and then they decide to, like, run some labs. And something that really struck me in this chapter is, like, she has said before the feeling of being unclean. because of what's happened to you.
Yeah.
And the fear of going to the clinic and dealing with the realities of the possible things that like the possible like health things that she might have to like deal with because of like the repercussions of like what happened to her.
Yeah.
And how all that is like, it's like the reality of having to go makes her feel even like kind of worse because it makes her feel even more unclean.
Yeah.
And then there's in previous chapters, I remember that there was a point where she was like, at this point, like, why would Zade even want me anymore?
Yeah.
And that's like heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah. But he thankfully like agrees. And this is like, there was this little moment where they're like driving to the clinic and she's like in the car. And this is like another one of those things where it's like you never know how like your trauma is going to manifest itself. That she's like crying in the car on the way to the clinic because she misses her old car, which got wrecked when Rio and Rick accident. Like kidnapped her. Yeah. She's missing her car because Zade's car doesn't have the ketchup stain on the ceiling that hers did.
Yeah.
From when she had like some flyaway French fry that like got stuck on the roof. And it's like, it makes her cry, you know? And it's like one of those things where you're like, you know, I don't think I ever would have thought about that. But like when she describes it, you're like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Because she's having to go.
Like everything that used to be no longer is.
Yeah, she's like, not only does she have to learn how to deal with everything she went through, she's also like mourning who she was before all of this happened. Yeah. But at least at this visit, we know that she's not pregnant.
Yeah.
That the IUD's in place, and she was like, yeah, I like cried that I am not pregnant. And Zade was like, you look like you need some ice cream.
Yeah.
And I love this moment because he's like, well, what flavor do you like? And Addie's like, mint chocolate chip. And I was like, that is also my favorite flavor of ice cream. And he was like, so toothpaste.
Yeah.
And she was like, absolutely not. Anyone who thinks that mint ice cream tastes like toothpaste has an unrefined palate. And so they're just like having this like back and forth, you know? And it felt so like casual dating.
Yeah.
It was so nice. But also, I wholeheartedly agree that I love mint ice cream.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we literally just said at the beginning of this episode that we used some of my mint to make mint ice cream. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's just nice to see them banter.
Exactly. Yes. It was very nice to see them banter. And by the end of this chapter, like they're kind of chatting and there's like these swans that they see go by while they're eating the ice cream, and Addie's like, oh, I hope they're happy. And Zade kind of has this feeling about like, or describes to her like, oh, like happiness is fleeting and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, do you really believe that? And he's like, yeah, but you just have to always be hopeful that like happiness comes back to you, even if it is fleeting. And she ends the chapter like, this happiness may be fleeting, but I've never been sure that it will be back. And I was like, oh, she's healing. She is healing.
These entire chapters are all her healing.
Yes.
All her coming back into herself.
Yep. Yeah, that like little scene made me super happy that like they are right. Like happiness is a fleeting thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like it gets dangerous when you start to try and like grasp happiness in the moment because you're afraid of it leaving. Mm-hmm. Whereas it's really, you have to have faith that it will come back.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm of the belief that's like everything comes to an end.
Yeah.
And so like the happy times in life, they come to an end.
Yeah.
So do the hard times in life. So what you have to do is you have to recognize when you're in the happy times and really enjoy them and live in them.
Yeah.
And then use that in order to endure the harder times.
Yeah, I agree.
And then there's comfort in knowing that everything ends.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I feel like that chapter was great.
Yeah.
Because not only did we learn Addie's not pregnant, which is a huge relief.
Yeah.
I felt validated that my mint chocolate chip was defended. And then that we're having some of these deeper conversations about like, yeah, happiness is fleeting, but that doesn't make it not valuable, you know? So now the next chapter is from Addie's perspective, and Zade is kind of like, I want to take you somewhere. But before that, we learned that Addie says it turns out one of the men did give me chlamydia, and it only cemented that feeling of filth and green deep in my bones.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I read that and I was like, yes, I get it. But knowing what we know on like the healthcare side of things, I was like, yo, if you are gonna get an STD, chlamydia is like a very easily treatable one. And knowing that she is like relatively early in the like contraction of it, the odds of her having like bad sequelae from it is like pretty minimal, you know?
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, okay, I don't want to devalue what Addie is feeling. But I was like, realistically, like if I was gonna pick one to get, because odds are you're walking out of that situation with something.
Yeah.
You know, like
and it's not, and especially with all those drug users, like it's not HIV.
I was thinking the same thing, which like, okay, at least you live in today's day and age where HIV is also pretty treatable if you stick to like
your
the regimen.
medication regimen.
Yes. Yeah. But it is something that you do have to be on medication, like for life. At least with
and your partner has to be too.
Yes,
in order to prevent them from contracting it.
Correct.
Giving birth becomes a stressful time, even though we have medications to like make sure that the baby doesn't get it and all that stuff. It's still stressful for everyone.
Yes. Yeah. So like at least in today's day and age, yes, it is treatable in the sense that like your lifespan is no longer like at the same risk it was before we had the like antiretroviral.
But it's now a chronic disease that you have to take care of, which is it's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot to put on a person.
Yeah. So like
the fact that she had something that can be treated with antibiotics
and it's done.
I
was like, okay, like yes, she got something, and I do understand that feeling of like, I feel dirty because of this, but at least like it's gone, you know, like after the antibiotics. And then, okay, I would love to know your thought on this. And some people would be like, that is such a weird way to go with this like thought process. But you know how like we shed cells?
I already know where you're going. Go ahead.
Okay. So you know how we shed cells? Like the skin that I have right now is not the same skin I had when I was a baby, right? Yeah. It's different. We shed skin everywhere. So like this eventually...
In 7 years, she has a new body.
Basically.
That's never been touched.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you do you agree with that process? Do you not agree with that process? Like thought process? Like, because I was thinking like eventually you will have... Yes, you have the same... like brain, because your neurons are like stable cells that stay forever. I think there's like a couple other organs in the body, like your heart is another one of them, where it's like those cells are there to stay. But like what lines the inside of like your vaginal canal, like those cells shed. What was on your skin sheds. So in my mind, I feel like one of the ways that I would be able to cope is tell myself eventually the body they touched is no longer like my body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so my thoughts are like, I think that thought process could be useful for a sector of people.
Fair.
So I think people who are like very like maybe science heavy, that kind of thought process would give them something to like look forward to.
Yeah.
And to feel like a like complete like healing.
Yeah.
I think that for Addie as a person who is an author and like literature is the way to go.
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be as effective for her.
Yeah, she doesn't approach the world that scientifically.
Yeah, I don't think it would be as effective for her. I think, and also there's this sense of like, you're not dirty. Like, being sexually assaulted and being abused is not dirty. You are not dirty. You know, you went through something and someone else hurt you. That's not a reflection of you, and that doesn't have to be your reality.
Yep.
You can choose to acknowledge that you are not dirty, neither ethically or morally or in character
or physically.
Yeah. And you can decide to say like, my spirit is not broken, my mind is not broken, and I will heal whatever my body feels is broken.
Yeah.
And I think that therapeutically, that might be a better avenue of reframing.
Yeah.
for maybe the average person.
Fair.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you also, like, yes, it's true what you're saying.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to tell someone that healing is going to come exactly in 7 years.
Fair. Yes, exactly.
So I think that, you know, that would be something that I would say to a patient once I've sat with them for a really long time, gotten to know them, and see them being maybe hyper fixated on the physicality of it.
Okay, yes.
And knowing that they're a little bit maybe more analytically oriented in that way.
Yes.
And then I would say, you know, like in 7 years, you will not have the body that these people touched.
Yes.
And that may be something that's helpful, but it's not where I would start.
Fair enough. Yeah, because it's, you know, we learn when we take our psychology courses and do our psychology rotations, like, that there are ways people cope, and have, we call them, like, defense mechanisms. And it turns out I am the type of person that uses the intellectualization is a big one, where it's like, I look at facts and the reasons like that, and it helps me cope with things, you know? And so I feel like that's why my brain was like, okay, but your cells shed, and we can use this as a way to reframe our thinking.
Yeah.
Which is totally, like, you could dive into that about me for hours.
I think it's person specific.
Yeah.
I think it's person specific because I just know that there is someone out there that would mark on their calendar year 7.
Oh.
And then when it's year 7, they might look in the mirror and maybe they haven't done the psychological, like, work needed to heal.
Yeah.
And they might look at themselves in the mirror and be like, why am I not okay yet?
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely person dependent, but, like, I knew exactly what you meant the minute that you said it. Because I was like, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the same thing. And on a side note, like, it's not antibiotic resistant gonorrhea or chlamydia.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And honestly, also, like, between the two, like, okay, like, yeah, like, pelvic inflammatory disease is a thing.
Yeah.
However, if I were also, like, so gonorrhea and chlamydia are both bacterial, so you treat them both with antibiotics, right? And often they're treated together. Like, if you're found to have one, you're treated for both, just because, like, often they, like, coincide.
I think gonorrhea is the one that you would treat for both. I don't know if guidelines have changed for chlamydia, where it's like if you only have chlamydia, I don't think they treat for gonorrhea.
Well, last time, I watched an out-of-date video that we used to help ourselves with med school because
I don't know if the guidelines have changed or anything. I don't know.
It might.
I don't know if the antibiotic resistant gonorrhea has, like, changed the way that
we manage.
Might manage, or if you just test for the strain. And
Yeah.
if they don't, or if you test for sensitivities or something.
Fair. But where I was going with this, though, is that even, like, between the two, I would, again, like, rather to choose chlamydia, because we know gonorrhea has, like, the worst sequence of, like, how we don't know how long Addie had this. She could have got it, like, the very first time that she was raped. We don't know.
Yeah.
And so, like, the gonorrhea is the one where you get the, like, pelvic inflammatory disease, and then the Fitzhugh-Curtis syndrome, where like you get, like, basically, like, adhesions of the liver, like, gets adhesions. Yeah. So, like, in that sense, also, I was like, dang, like, I don't want to devalue her feeling about having chlamydia, but from the medical perspective, she that was the, like, best outcome shy of having nothing, in my opinion.
I think that's a good way of saying it. The best outcome shy of having nothing.
Yeah.
I think also, like, I don't know how to say this, and I really hope it doesn't come out bad.
Girl.
But I just want to say, like, the people who were treating these human beings like products are just fucking idiots. Like, absolute morons. Because how does it make any sense that these people who are really wealthy want to, like, purchase a person who has been defiled so much, and, like, they're like, the person buying his health is at risk if, like, let's say they got something that wasn't treatable in the way that, like, gonorrhea or chlamydia is treatable.
Yeah,
like, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because like you've got this guy Xavier Delano who's like a super rich man.
Yeah.
And like, what happens when you have like?
Did he give her the chlamydia?
Did he get it from her?
Because
Like,
the book kind of makes it clear that like the sexual abuse did not stop at Xavier.
Yes.
Like if Addie was out of line, she still got abused by Rocco and his friends.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it very easily could be. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like somewhere like deep in the vault of my memory, I've heard like a story of some like that's how it broke that like a politician was having an affair because like their spouse had an STD and they're like, well, where the hell did I get this? I wasn't like sleeping around
yeah.
And they got it from their like famous spouse who got it from the person they were having an affair with.
Yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's like, I understand where you're going with these like wealthy, high profile people. You would think that would be higher on their radar.
You would think that they would take steps to take care of their health.
Regular testing.
Because if they are with someone else and they like give that person something, then it like all this kind of comes to light.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's like on top of just being horrible and like despicable and engaging in this just like mutilation of human beings, basically, it's like you're also an incompetent moron.
You also don't care about yourself. Like, you don't care about any, like, yes, you already don't care about these other human beings because you don't even view them as human beings. But now you don't even care about treating your own body with respect. You know?
Yeah, just taking care of your health and taking the necessary precautions.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like...
Yeah.
It's just added, like, you're an idiot.
Yes.
Like, not only are you disgusting, it's kind of like... It's just, like, insult to insult. Obviously, the being a horrible person is, like, top. Like, being the scum of the earth is, like, the top.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you're also a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Because I think, really, what I think it boils down to is people being stupid. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say stupid. Maybe I should say naive or unaware of the fact that these diseases have long-term consequences.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, like, syphilis is a pretty common one, and you can get neurosyphilis, where you basically, like, are immobile.
Yeah.
Like,
and if you're pregnant, your baby's development gets affected by the syphilis. Their bones don't grow the way that they're supposed to. They have like these
the
like,
Hutchinson's teeth, and the nose is deformed, and their
damaged.
bones, like their shins get deformed. Yes, like I think people, a lot of people who don't have concern for the spread or contraction of diseases like this is because they also are uneducated about the long-term consequences of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that was a long, like...
I just went on a soapbox, I'm sorry.
Yes, I think we were kind of both wanting to soapbox. Oh, he's got the zoomies right now. Hello, sir. So anyway, we started this chapter with Zade being like, oh, I want to take you somewhere. And it turns out he wants to take her to the house where all this... Or I say house. The compound that he has built for his survivors. Yeah.
I love this chapter.
I love this chapter. So it's this whole, like, kind of like farming communal land.
Private.
Yes.
No fly zone.
Yes. It's like completely guarded, like heavily guarded. And it's all like off the grid as far as like how he funds it. Like the money goes to like accounts that don't have his name on it in any way.
So
like
nobody can track this house.
Yeah.
Okay, did you think it was so badass how he like rolls up to like the gate and it's just like
they just let him in?
Yeah. I mean, like, it makes sense, but I just thought that was so badass.
Yeah.
It's like I'm coming. You know what it felt like? It felt like it's like not like this because I don't think that he like thinks of it like this, but it feels like I'm coming home to my girls.
Yeah, he's a celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. No, I don't want to say it that way. I was going to say he is like their God when God didn't save them, you know, like because they were in this situation where like nothing was helping them and he's the one that like rescued them.
Yeah.
But they don't view him
like
that way.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's more so like there's like a it just feels very like therapeutic, I guess.
Very wholesome.
Very wholesome. Especially when we see little Sarah.
I know, the little girl. The little girl that in the first book was like, will you be my dad?
Yes, and the fact that Addie is like, for a split second, I almost say yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Oh, it's so
yes.
cute. And she gets to see Rio's sister. And she
Katerina,
gets to see Jillian.
Yes.
And there's like a certain level of like healing that comes from those interactions. Yes. And we'll go into like depth with them. Like,
yeah. No, the first one is Katerina. Well, okay, the first one is the little kids. And I feel like my thought this whole time is not like, it's not like they worship him. They are just so thankful
that he does the work that he does.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not at all like a glorifying or idealization. It's a like, thank you for getting me out. And
also like the tough thing, I think the tough thing for Addie is that even though she had Parson's Manor and really wanted to go back there,
she's not with other survivors.
She's not with other survivors, yes. But also she's like foisted back into what was her life. So you know how they say like...
And it doesn't fit the same anymore.
No, and you know how they say like addicts will go through AA and like complete their 12 steps and then they try and like go back into the world and they're like, I'm right back like where I was.
Where all the things are. Yeah.
Yes, and so this place is a place where like they've never been before. It's untainted in that sense, you know? So that's where what I'm getting at is that it's completely untainted. It's very safe. And if they choose not to be foisted back into the real world, they don't have to be. Yeah. They are taught practical skills. They are taught how to like manage money, make things, sew, grow crops. Like they have engineering classes. They have like woodworking classes, like all this type of stuff.
And some of them feel like they can leave after.
Yes, they are given real skills to be able to go back into the world. And I was like, chef's kiss. Like this is wonderful.
Because throughout reading this entire book, that was something that was in the back of my head. Especially since I think in the first book he mentions that there are safe houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was something that I'm glad that we finally got to see.
Yes.
Seeing the interaction with Rio's sister broke my heart and also healed it at the same time.
Yeah.
When Rio's sister says he's not a good man.
About her brother,
but that's because he's a good brother.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
I was like, that killed me.
Yeah.
And you know, like, this is still Addie's perspective.
Yeah.
But you know, like, Zade is like,
yep.
There are people in this world that are very empathetic and forgiving. And then there are people that are like, no, what you did requires punishment.
Yep.
And I feel like Zade is what you did requires punishment. And I feel like there is a place for those people.
Yes.
There is a place for the people who will say, that's lovely that you've forgiven, but that is not, but there still needs to be justice.
Yeah.
And I think that those people end up protecting the people that are really empathetic and forgive.
Yes.
So what I wanted to say with this in this part is like, I feel like Zade is still going to go after Rio, for sure. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
If he kills Rio, I think that at the very least, he won't torture him.
Yeah.
It'll be swift. Clean and fast.
Okay.
But I think there is a more poetic justice to getting Rio and having him make repentance, like for him to repent for everything that he's done to other women.
Yeah.
By actually working as a double agent and going in to like find like where Claire is, find where Xavier is, like get in, because he can technically, like if you get Rio, if they just assume that he disappeared because Zade was after him, they won't assume that he's a double agent.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
So I feel like Rio could be very useful in that way.
Yeah.
And if Rio dies on the job, he dies on the job.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing about this scene, in addition to what you mentioned about the sister saying, like, he's not a good person, but he's a good brother. That part got me, and then the part that got me was Addie being like, why did they need Rio so badly? Like, why was it enough to use you as collateral? You know, like, and Addie's her thought process is like, this is something that's really been weighing on me. Like, why? I just want to know why. And Katerina basically is like, oh, I think he was Francesca's favorite. And Addie's kind of like, what? And she's like, oh, I heard Lillian, who was the, like, Francesca of Katerina's house. She's like, I heard Lillian say, like, some nasty things about them and, like, how much Francesca would like the way that Rio tends to her. And Addie's like, oh, so Rio was, like, also kind of a victim.
Yeah.
We learn, like,
we learned that. And I feel like that adds to my empathy of him. Yeah. And I know that Zade probably won't feel that way. Yeah. But, like, yeah, he is a victim too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what it makes me feel like? Again, spoiler if you haven't read the first ACOTAR book. But it's like Rhysand with Amarantha.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then we get her running into Jillian, which is, like, a lovely interaction in the sense that, like, I felt like this one also healed me a little bit. Yeah. Because of how
they
bad.
They couldn't look at each other.
Yeah.
Before they got sold. They had to punish each other because Francesca made them. And they hated each other at the end. And, like, now being able to be in this, like, environment that's therapeutic where, like, nobody's holding anything. It's like being able to see somebody and, like, kind of asking for forgiveness, but also forgiving, but also knowing that, like, any reasonable person would be like, we're out of there.
Yeah, it's not your fault. Yeah. Like, I don't hold anything against you. Like, I'm happy to see that you are out and alive. You know? Like, I think that was kind of the vibe.
The feeling I got.
Yeah. Which made me super happy. I was glad to see them get a little moment of, like, being reunited. And then we get our answer to the question that you posed earlier about Zade's perspective, because Addie asks him, like, do you still want to kill Rio? And he was like, yeah, I do. And she's like, even after meeting his sister and hearing, like, everything that he suffered too. And he's like, one person's suffering does not justify the pain they inflict on others. So that's, like, his thinking, you know, like, and he's like, there's no good answer for it, you know, like, he's directly responsible for nearly killing you in a car accident, kidnapping you, and bringing you into a house where you were repeatedly raped and abused. Like, what do you want me to say? No, I'm not going to say that is enough to say that he deserves no punishment. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So, yeah, that was basically, like, his take on it. Yeah. And honestly, I'm not surprised one bit that that's his take.
I'm not surprised either, and I understand that I understand that someone needs to be there to have that perspective, because if not, then, like, we would just like people who did something wrong would just walk over everybody else because of a sob story. You know, like,
yep, exactly.
So I get it and I understand. I just think that it's a better use of skill and a better use of repentance to put him to work, undoing some of the wrong that he did in the world to balance out, like, the karmic scales. And like I said, you can literally throw him into the most dangerous situations and not care and not have to send in a backup team to get him. Because part of the repentance is, if you die on the mission, you die on the mission.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And that chapter ends with Addie getting a rose tattoo over her trafficking tattoo.
That is something that I wanted to talk to you about. So Addie gets a cover-up, right? I remember in the first couple chapters when she says, like, that she goes to the doctor that's, like, the surgeon or whatever. I thought to myself, like, is she going to cut out the tattoo? Because, you know, you could do that.
Oh, yeah, like, remove that layer of skin.
Because of the feeling of, like, hating, like, feeling, like, the disgust of all of that. Yeah. It's like, what really goes between removing the skin, which we know we can do because of, like, biopsies, skin cancer and stuff. Like, you can remove a big chunk of skin, versus covering it up. Like, what is more therapeutic? Is it more therapeutic to say, I hate this and I want it literally carved out of my body so that I never see it again? Or is it, I recognize that this is here and I know that beneath this cover up, there is like the tattoo that was given to me when I was in that situation? What would you like prefer?
I feel like it really depends on the person. I personally have tattoos. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I probably would have made the same choice as Addie. Mm-hmm. If not, just left it the way that it was. Mm. Because I'm the type of person where I don't want to say I'm a vindictive person, but I am the type that I'm like, no, like this is here to remind me to never be like weak again. Mm-hmm. And it would fuel me to like train to then kill these people.
Yeah.
You know, like
as a reminder.
For me it would become a motivator. Or potentially I would do like a design over it. Mm-hmm. However, I understand that there are people in the world who don't believe in tattoos, you know, like whether it is for a religious reason or otherwise. Like there are some people who are like, I would never want a tattoo. And so if I were one of those people, I would understand like wanting to get it fully like removed, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm one of those of like, I would look at it and be like, I refuse to ever let someone take advantage of me again. You know? Yeah. Let it be like a rage fueler.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's like my take. What about you?
I would want it carved out of my body.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were going to say. Yeah.
I would want it carved out of my body, and I would want it carved out with like intention, in the sense of like, when I say like remove it, I mean like it's kind of like, for me, it's equivalent to removing the tracker.
Okay.
For me, it's equivalent to removing the tracker and to removing like, it's like a FU. Like, you put this permanent thing on my body.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's not permanent. FU.
Yeah.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
And if I could burn it and imagine you burning, I would.
Yeah, that's fair. You know? So you wouldn't even just do the, like, you know how they, like, laser remove tattoos? Have you ever seen those?
I have seen those.
Yeah.
It depends. Like, if it's so big that you can't get it taken out because you literally can't stretch the skin to like put it together.
Yeah, fair.
Then okay, fine. I'd probably do the laser it off, and then I would be like, every time the laser hits, it's burning you bitches.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
But if it's like small, like not small, but if it's like on the, like how she has it, like
on the wrist.
If it's like this or like this,
yeah,
I would tell the person doing it to cut it off.
Yeah.
Cut it off in the moment. Because my thing is that laser takes time.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I could see a lot of people choosing to go like
either or.
Any possible way. Yeah.
Because to me, it would be like, I'm free of you and I'm going to stay free of you.
Yeah.
And like, I'm going to heal from this.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all interpretation, really.
Yeah, it is all interpretation, because for me, like, that is still my same thought process, but it's like I am the type that I'm okay with reminders. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. There are some people that are like, I never want to have the reminder of this again. Mm-hmm. But like, there are things that it's, to me, just because it's ink doesn't make it different from a scar. Mm-hmm. So like, to me, that would be the same thing as saying like, I want the scar tissue removed from where I had the tracker in my neck, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like, I've had some not great things happen in my life that I have scars from, and I look at the scars and I'm like, I'm never letting that happen to me again, you know? So like, for me, they're kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Interesting, like, kind of thought experiment with the tattoos. But she gets it covered up with a rose, which I thought it was cute, because then she tells Zade, like, now I have my own rose that will never die. And he, like, got, like, teary-eyed at it. Oh, can you move the duck so he can come cuddle with you?
Oh, you want to cuddle with me?
He's just trying to get over to you. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Hi, buddy.
Come here.
You come in for a cuddle?
Here, I give you a triangle to sit in.
He's got to make his rounds. Oh, yeah, you're going to play with my sticky notes. Thank you. Okay. So that's the end of chapter 25.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that chapter had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Chapter 26, we start out with her, like, waking up with a nightmare. And I had marked this one because it reminded me, again, of Akatar. Like, she wakes up from a nightmare, and she, like, wakes up, like, swinging from this nightmare and comes very close to, like, stabbing Zade in the face, like, with her hands, you know? No. You don't need to mess with my sticky notes. Either you're here to cuddle or you're not.
There you go.
And he's kind of like, okay, so are we going to talk about the fact that you just tried to, like, stab me in the eye with your hands when you woke up from this nightmare? And she was like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And he was like, all right. So they started talking about he's got, like, a job that he's, like, trying to hunt somebody down. And she's like, oh, yeah, like, Claire, right? And he was like, you know about Claire?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, because they haven't debriefed.
Yeah, he was like...
I think it's wild that they haven't debriefed. What do you think?
Okay, you're getting into a lot of psychology with this. Because it's the same thing, like... This whole podcast episode is just, like, Akatar spoilers filled.
I know, sorry.
Because my thing is, like, I'm re-listening to Silver Flames.
Yeah. And
some people will be like, oh, the way that they handled is not the right word, but, like, approached Nesta's trauma was, like, some people are like, yeah, it was good. Some people are like, yeah, it's bad. In the sense when Feyre's talking about, like, oh, like, I thought you needed space. And now I realize by giving you space, I gave you the rope to, like, hang yourself with and, like, self-destruct.
Yeah.
And so, like, you could argue Zade is kind of doing the same thing where he's like, I'm going to give her space and let her heal. And when she's ready to talk about stuff, she will come to me and be ready to talk about it. And I'm not going to, like, force her to talk about it. With some people, that's the right approach. And with some people, that's the absolute wrong approach. And unfortunately, sometimes you never know until you've already tried to take an approach and be like, oh, well, that was the wrong thing to do. Yeah. I think in this case, it was the right approach. I really think that Zade giving her space was the right approach.
My thing is, I don't think that you need to, like, dive into everything.
Yeah.
But because of how fresh, like, when she gets rescued,
yeah,
I feel like there is a window. You know, like how people are, like, you know, on A&E, the first 48.
Oh yes.
There's like a window of freshness.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we don't have to talk about what happened to you, but if you can give me details of who did what and just info.
Yeah.
Not what happened to you, just info on these people, like full name, like things like that. Yeah. I just feel like that's really useful to, like, going out and, like, finding them, especially in the time frame before they realize that she's been saved.
Yes.
So, for example, I think it's wild that, like, Zade called Jillian and was like, hey, like, is this the house, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why didn't she do, like, you know how people do, like, an exit interview or, like, a...
Oh, yeah.
Or like, a questioning, not in a bad way, but, like, why didn't, like, when they realized that she knew where Addie was, why was there not a, can you please, like, I understand, and you can tell me no, but if you are up for it, I do have some questions for you, which is what, like, police and detectives do.
Yeah.
They say, if you're up for it, I do have some questions for you.
Yeah.
And usually people will say no or yes.
Yeah. So... I feel like that's kind of like how I was going back to the intellectualization with, like, talking about, like, the skin cells and body cells and stuff. I feel like that's a very intellectual approach. And some people will absolutely agree. Some people will say, like, oh, but isn't that, like, not compassionate? I personally, like, say give them the option. And if someone is willing to talk, then they're willing to talk.
Yeah.
I think in this case, like... Zade seems to be the type, like, remember in book 1, the first scene that we get of him rescuing girls where he's like not a drop of blood on them. I think he personally takes the approach of, I am not going to re-traumatize you or even open the possibility of you like giving me info that could re-traumatize you because it's not worth it. And some will agree, some will disagree, but that seems to be his approach.
MO,
His approach is that I'm not gonna like ask for anything. I'm not gonna force anything else on you. Mm-hmm. You're right. Like, the details are no longer fresh at this point in time. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of the branching logic there. That it seems like he goes down the like, what's the point of like possibly re-traumatizing them? Yeah. So yeah. But interestingly enough, he mentions like something about the society and she's like, oh, Claire, right? And he then is like, look, if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay. But like, what happened? And Addie cuts him off and she's like, I want to help. Yeah. I need purpose. And my purpose is now going to be helping you destroy these people. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. She's like emerging from the ashes, like brightly coming out in flames, like ready to burn everything down. Absolutely. And I'm excited for it. Yeah. And he basically is like, well, I have some stipulations, one of which being like, you have to train, you have to get strong, you have to learn how to handle weapons and your body and like all this stuff. Which I love me a good training montage.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. So he was like, that's one condition. And the second condition is like, you cannot do something stupid when we are out in the field. Yeah. And she was like, I'm not going to do something stupid. And he was like, oh, so you think like going out and confronting your stalker in the middle of the night with no weapon wasn't stupid? And she was like, like, I feel attacked.
Rightfully so, because
it was stupid. Yes. So she basically is like, okay, fine. Like, I won't do anything stupid. I will train as long as you let me like destroy the people that did this to me kind of thing. I was like, yeah. And I feel like early on, I want to say it was our first episode of this book, we had mentioned something about like the possibility of Addie like wanting to work with him in the future. Yeah. So then we get like this, like they're starting their little training montage, but it's not going well because she like freaks out
every time he touches her. Yeah.
Yeah.
She freezes.
Yeah. She like doesn't know how to handle like him being close to her. Yeah. And it's not that she doesn't like him. It's just that her body is having
her nervous system is reacting.
Yeah. But they have this very honest conversation where she's basically like, you're so unapologetic for killing people. Like, it doesn't weigh on you, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, for how many people you've killed, how are you okay with that? And he's like, well, why wouldn't I be? I was killing people that are, like, predators. Yeah. You know? And she's like, I don't know, like, morals, like, because
I had a problem with this conversation.
Yes, I did too.
I had a huge problem with this conversation.
Yes.
Because it's almost like Adeline started off in a very like the hierarchy of like development that she was in. It's like concrete. She's like in Law and Order, and she is not like it's like she hasn't like fully adulted, like like upper level of like, you know. Yeah.
She's in concrete thinking.
Yeah, she's like in, because it's like I don't understand this idea of like telling him that like how does he not feel bad about killing people who enjoyed abusing other human beings, especially children.
Yes. And he basically is like, you realize that the people that I'm killing are the ones who fed you that moral code. Like, because a lot of the people that he kills are like government, like politicians and people that make laws and resources. Yes, exactly. And he's like, so what's to say that like you aren't fed this way of thinking so that they survive and don't get killed for what they do? Yeah. And it was such an interesting conversation of like, we see that he is like very high in the abstract thinking where he's like, I create my moral code. Mm-hmm. The only one who should create your moral code is you. It's like his way of thinking. Yeah. And he's like, for me, I have no problem killing predators. Yeah. no, I have no qualms about it.
He's the predator of predators.
Yes, he's like, it does not make me, I sleep perfectly fine at night.
Yeah.
Knowing that I am killing these people.
Yeah.
And he basically is like, it's time for you to like decide for yourself what is like in your morals. And if you don't want to do this, you like, by no means do you have to get involved in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's time for you to decide what you actually think and not just like what you've been fed. And he kind of talks about like, yeah, like I understand that like things are different now between us because of what you've been through, but also like like he kind of like strong parents her in this moment of like,
I'm still here and I'm going to stay here.
Yeah, exactly. Like
and I'm a very patient man.
Yeah, exactly.
Which didn't look like it in the first book, but whatever.
I know. and it starts to get, this is also like the first time that we start to get some heat between them since she's been rescued. And he's like, starts talking about her, like them being like spicy. And he's like, when I'm like, you know, inside you, he's like, the only fear that you will feel is God sending you to heaven too soon. And like all this stuff where I'm like, oh, he's getting spicy with his words. But she doesn't like run away from it, you know? Like she's starting to get to the point where she's okay with like bantering. Yeah. She might not be ready with any like physical touch yet, but she's at least starting to like open up to him, you know? And then she has this thing where she's like, despite me not being quite ready for him yet, like it makes me want to run just so he can catch me. And I was like, ooh, like we're starting to get a little spicy. It's spicy. Yes. Yeah. And so anyway, now we go back, like they have their little like chitty chat and then they go back to training and he's like, instead of envisioning the people that you want to kill, envision the people that you have killed and reframe your thinking as you do it. So she's like telling herself like her thought process before him like getting her to reframe is she's like, I was protecting myself, but I still carry the weight of their deaths as if they were innocent. Talking about Jerry and Sydney. Yeah. Which is, it's true, like, or like kind of crazy to think about where it's like that way that like lines get blurred of like I killed someone but like they were harming me, you know, like she's dealing with like figuring out her moral code. And so she starts like going through the motions of like beating up this dummy and she starts like reframing her thinking of like, I was protecting myself, they hurt me, like all this stuff. And by the end of it, she's like, I'm a different person and I'm seeing the world in a different way. And it like totally, like it, not like the guilt left her, but it's a little lighter now at this point. So yeah. And then her mom comes to visit her, which like, I freaking hate her mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just don't like the way she approaches things is just like not the way that I would approach things. So like, for example, like, okay, Addie, like, obviously is traumatized. Sleep doesn't come easy. And her mom is like, is that man abusing you? Like, talking about Zade. And then they go out to dinner and her mom iterates, like, don't forget the concealer. And it's one of those things where I'm like, bro, do you really care so much? Because how she talked earlier about her mom being the, like, pageant queen, the, like, image queen, you know, that I'm like, do you really care about, like, you don't want to be seen out, because she's going to take Addie out to dinner. I'm like, you don't want to be seen with your daughter with like purple bags under her eyes. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like you're, I understand what you're saying. I think if you take a second to think about her mom and the type of person that she is, I think you might, like, you have to in order to understand why her mom acts like this, you have to like reframe who her mom is. It's not that she doesn't care. First of all, Zade was Addie's stalker. And Addie also didn't have a good relationship with her mom, so of course she didn't know about it. But like, it makes perfect sense for your mom to look at this like random like 6 foot tall dude with like this like
scary, like, scar on his face that's just like, I'm living with your daughter now, ma'am. Like, right after she gets human trafficked, right? If you're like a normal average person, you know, like, okay, if you've been human trafficked, like, there's a high chance of you getting trafficked again, right?
Sure.
So she's like, who the heck is this guy? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, it is okay for her mom to be like, is this dude, like, abusing you? Like, what's going on? She's emotionally fragile.
Yeah.
If Zade was somebody else, it would be the perfect time to lay the foundation for a toxic relationship where you get manipulated.
Okay, yes. However,
we're just the reader, so we know what happened.
My thought process, though, is like, okay, I feel like this reveals a little bit about the way that I view, like, people and relationships. If that were me, if I were Addie, and I had the relationship with my mom the way that Addie has a relationship with her mom, I would be like, you didn't fucking care before. You don't get to come in and try and mom and care about me now.
Uh-huh.
You know? So I feel like that's why, and then it's like, on top of, like, adding insult to injury, the way that her mom tries to now mom her is, like, superficial. Mm-hmm. That I'm like, I don't know that my mind will be changed. That, like, I think my mind will always be like, nah, like, fuck you. Mm-hmm. You know? Which probably says a lot about me, but I can't get on board with, like, Addie is 26 years old. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess some people need the, like,
you know what?
She needed the reckoning to, like, realize that her relationship with her daughter, like, sucked as much as it did.
Yeah.
You know, like, maybe that is what, like, gets her to realize, like, oh, we need to, like, fix our relationship. But, like, I, as Addie, would be like, right now, no. Mm-hmm. Like, you weren't there for me before, you don't get to try and be here for me afterwards. Mm-hmm. Especially because of the way that Addie has vocalized, like, I don't have a good relationship with her. I feel like for me personally, I would want to, like, heal other things before and then be like, okay, I understand that, like, this was probably also traumatic for you as a mother to, like, see your daughter, like, get taken, and now I'm ready to, like, deal with it. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I think the remark about the concealer is, like, you can, and anybody can interpret that as, like, what do you consider grooming to be, right? So, like, Zade telling her, you need to shower. You smell.
Yeah.
You know, like,
fair.
That's something that most people consider, like, basic grooming, right?
Okay.
Now think about, like, we have a friend that, like, loves doing her makeup, right?
Yeah.
Think about our friend who loves doing her makeup.
Yeah.
For her, basic level of grooming includes concealer.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things of, like, how it's said.
Yeah.
And also what you think the road to recovery is for each individual person, right?
Yep.
If I walked out the house without concealer after a traumatic event, you'd be like, she's out the house. This is a good sign. This is fine. If our friend who loves makeup walks out of the house after a traumatic event without concealer, you're like, okay, we need to be worried.
Does your thought process change, though, knowing the way that Francesca made them wear makeup? Because it changes mine.
I think the mom can't be held accountable for that. I think what the mom can be held accountable for is the fact of, as the person who didn't experience the inciting traumatic event, she had this traumatic event of being a mother and her child be taken.
Yes.
But as the person who didn't experience it, I think as the more stable person, I think it's your responsibility to try to learn how to engage in a way that's constructive and helpful.
Okay.
Not something that you think would make you feel better.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think the mom is like, well, it would make me feel better to fix my face.
Oh, yeah.
So go fix your face. And I think that's where like the mom's emotional intelligence is lackluster.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have the capacity or the capability to look and say, okay, this has happened to my daughter. Do I know who my daughter is? No.
No. Yeah.
Do I know how to handle this. No. What should I do next? Yeah. Should I talk to a therapist and try to explain what happened so they can give me the tools to help rebuild my daughter?
Yeah.
Or do I just like mindlessly like bounce off the walls, like hitting my head, not being myself, but trying, but not really trying?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, in my opinion, it's not worth Addie pushing her mom away or getting mad at her mom.
Yeah.
When you look at her mom and you're like, she just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
She just doesn't have the emotional intelligence to be able to be a positive person in her life like that.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think it's what am I trying to say? On the one hand, it is good that her mom is willing to like insert almost like a critique of like, you know, like
not treating her like she's glass.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Because some people would be like, yo, she might look like shit, but I'm not going to say anything because she's been through like a lot. So there's something to be said for her mom like being willing to say like, you look rough. You need some concealer, you know? Like there is something to be said for that.
Some kind of normalcy, I guess.
Yes, I guess.
Even though it's not the healthiest normalcy that you would want.
Yes.
But.
I think really my grievance with it is that I was like, wow, like she didn't know Addie before, and now she's like trying to kind of act like she knows Addie, and it just really like irked me.
Yeah. I mean, it's like understandable for it to be irksome. Because like all those things come into play.
Yeah.
It's the knowing, because there's a part in the book where like we find out that like her mom has been like kind of like distraught over her being taken.
Yeah.
And for me, it was the knowing that the mom was distraught that made me be more like, this is just how she's trying to connect with her. And it's misguided.
Yeah.
And it's like stupid.
Yeah.
But some people just don't have it.
Yeah. And I feel like between the two of us, if there's one of us to be more empathetic, it's you. And so, like, you're looking at the mom with much more empathy than I am. I'm like, nah. Even if I understand, like, this might have been what, like, kicks her in the butt and be like, I need to fix my relationship with my daughter. I'm like, but you had 26 years before this, too. Where were you in the, you know, like, I have a hard time, like, I am not the one to easily let go of the grievance, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway. But they at least have this funny scene where they go out to eat afterwards. So they do go out to eat, and it's, like, told in Addie's note that they go out to eat. And, like, her mom is kind of, like, trying to have some, like, comments about like maybe Addie should like take some medication, which again I was like, fuck you. And Addie's like, no, I'd rather just smoke some weed, like right as the waiter is coming up, and then the waiter ends up leaving his number on the check, and Addie like, he wants weed, the free weed is what Addie's like, yeah, I think he just wanted weed from me. Which was like really funny. But yeah, I feel like Addie gives some good snark like that where she's like, I would rather just smoke weed. When her mom, like, which also, for the audience, weed is actually not a good anti-anxiety medication in the long run. It only increases your anxiety. Facts.
And I try to tell this to patients all the time who have weed cards specifically or marijuana cards specifically for anxiety. And it's very annoying when patients think that you're trying to take their medicinal marijuana card away. I'm not. I'm just trying to educate you that if the reason that you're smoking weed is really for anxiety, you're screwing yourself over, and whoever gave you the weed card is not up to date with like the proper literature.
Yeah.
I am being really professional when I say that, because what I really want to say is whoever gave you the weed card is an idiot.
Yeah, but in the setting specifically for anxiety.
Like, in the setting specifically for anxiety.
Yeah.
There are other medications that are more efficacious and also are not going to lead to like worsening anxiety in the long run. I've actually had patients that have told me, like, I didn't know that. I understand why. That's why my anxiety has gotten worse. And I'm like, yes. Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
So I straight up tell patients, like, if I'm asking you this to tell you exactly, like, if you want to get better, this is what is up. If you want to keep your weed card, just say, I want to smoke my weed.
Don't say that it's for anxiety.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Soapbox.
We're just soapboxing tonight, apparently.
Just
like
soapboxing.
Yeah, it's okay. We're covering a broad topic. Like
Broad
we're
topics,
yeah. Yeah, and that's the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
So we get into chapter 27, which is still Addie's perspective. And she's like hanging out with Dea and like he's got the zoomies right now.
What time is it?
Like a little
It's
after
like
midnight.
12, yeah.
Yeah. So she's hanging out with Dea and like they're having an honest conversation and she's like, yeah, like I do enjoy the fact that like Zade is being like patient with me, he's training with me, but like I just can't get over this hump where like we're training and he like touches me and I like freak out.
Yeah.
And I'm like torn between like shutting down and like killing him, basically, you know? And Dea is doing really good about being like, yo, you have PTSD. Like, don't rush yourself, you know? Like, they have a very honest conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a conversation that I would have had if I were Dea. I would be like, you know, like, I understand that you're struggling, like, with the disconnect between, like, your thoughts and wanting to, like, start having more of a relationship with him and like that being disconnected from what your body is just like automatically feeling, but like you gotta give yourself some time. Yeah. And then they have their little like trauma bonding moment a little bit where like Dea talks about like, you know, I get it because like Luke did stuff to me, you know, and so they have their moment of being able to like cry together, and I feel like that also healed a piece of me.
You know?
It
was a very healing moment.
Because I feel like Dea really does understand her, even though she didn't go through
exactly what she went through. She still went through something,
and she understands the fear. Yes. So
and Dea has a added thing that Addie doesn't have yet, and that's knowing that her abuser is dead.
True. Yes, that probably gives an added level of like closure. Yeah, that's fair. Fair enough. Hopefully we get to that point. At least as of in this 10 chapters we haven't, but hopefully we get to that point. So all of a sudden, like, she's just hanging out with Dea, chitty-chatting, and Zade comes in, and he's like, we have a guest. Yes.
And it's
Sibby. Yes, freaking Sibby. So he's like, listen, I know Sibby's crazy, just like my cat is being right now. He's like, I know Sibby's crazy. He's like, she broke out of the nut house. She killed her psychiatrist to break out of the psych ward.
Am I wrong for the fact that like I mourned that psychiatrist?
I mean, they were just trying to help her.
I know. I really mourned that psychiatrist. I don't know if it's because like we're in medicine and like that's like literally like that's gonna be one of our colleagues. But I literally was like, why would you do that, Sibby? Like, you could have knocked them out. Like, why'd you have to do that?
I know. Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
So he basically is like, I feel partially responsible for her because she was involved in helping me kill Mark and the 3 other senators. And she like took the fall for that. And so she was like out running amok. So I realized I picked her up.
Can she stay? It's okay if she can't, but can she stay?
Yeah, and
Adeline is like, fine.
Yeah, she's like, and Addie, so Sibby's like, please don't be scared of me. You smell like the most wonderful flowers. I would never hurt you. And I was like, oh, this is like, it's creepy. It's creepy.
But if anybody's going to accept somebody that's creepy, it's Adeline.
Yeah, and yes, okay, also, yes, because Sibby's like looking around the house and she's like, this house is perfect. Yeah, because you know the manor is friggin' creepy. But then Addie's like, you know what, Zade? Like, I trust you, and if you trust her not to hurt us, I trust her not to hurt us too. So she gets to stay.
And then there's this added like thing that Adeline kind of thinks about, and she realizes like as she's training, partly like there is a benefit to Sibby being there because it's a woman that knows how to fight, that can train with her. And so she can progress with her more than she can with Zade.
Yep, exactly. So after like this moment, she like realizes like, Zade is like, she can help you with training. So that's great because, I mean, Sibby at this point is a trained killer.
Yeah, she is.
She's killed over like 50 people. Yeah. So, I mean, she kind of knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she does.
And she has this like added unpredictability and like doesn't have stake in the game the same way Zade does when it comes to Addie.
Yeah.
Because Zade is not going to push the limits when it comes to Addie.
Yeah.
Where in this case.
In this scenario.
Yes, in this scenario. Whereas Sibby is like, I gotcha ass. She's like, if Addie gets distracted, she's like, well, bam. And Addie's like, yo, what the fuck? And she's like, never let your guard down. You never know I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
And it's great.
Oh, Sybil.
I know, and it's great. Let's see. Oh, and so, yeah.
Really quick.
Yeah.
I'm like looking at the sticky notes, but like I have the medical Spanish exam tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to go a little faster?
Yeah.
Okay. So just we learn in this chapter that they're going to try and get to Claire by going through her lawyer. They don't really know yet how they're going to do it, but they know that like they want to use the lawyer as the route to get to her.
Active member of the society. Yeah. Involved in all the degeneracy.
Yeah. And it's just like there's a lot of humor now that Sibby is like introduced.
Yeah, because she talks to her henchman and she's like in love with her henchman and they're all a figment of her imagination.
But they're raunchy as hell.
Oh my gosh, yes. They're like super like cray.
Yeah.
Like I think there was one point where like I could be getting ahead of myself, but there's like one point where Addie's like, I've had to tell Sibby multiple times to not take her clothes off, like, in common areas because she wants to, like, get it on with her henchmen.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
Which are imaginary people, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, but it's, like, one of those things where it just, like, kind of makes you laugh. It makes you laugh. Yeah, it does make you laugh.
You like, thank goodness there's no children in this home because that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So, anyway, like, now, like, we get... Sibby is, like, getting... kind of like cabin fever in the house and she's like, I want to help, like let me help,
but her face is plastered everywhere because she escaped from the psych institution.
And so Zade is like, fine, we will let you help, and their plan is to like break into before they decided it was Sibby, the plan was someone was going to break into Claire's lawyer's office and replace all of his flash drives with ones that have Zade's like malware where he can like hack into
and get like all his info, which will give him access to Claire's email, which will give him access to Claire. When Claire goes to download the files for like to read through the files for her like lawsuit, basically like he'll be able to have full control of her computer.
Yes, because they had like enough victims that they've rescued and staff from the house that are suing her.
It's staff that's suing her. So when Zade when he saves Addie, Claire goes like ape shit and like fires a bunch of her staff. Yeah. And to cut down the numbers of people who can get to her. Issue is that she was never a good boss and she actually abused a lot of people. So the staff are being encouraged by Zade to proceed with like suing her. Yeah. And he is funding it and also offering them protection.
Yes. And so like we get this funny moment of like, okay, Sibby's out there, doesn't know how to dress herself, and she like looks ridiculous in the outfit that she chose for herself.
She looks like a clown.
She looks like a clown.
Like a giant pink marshmallow fluffy like
puffer
jacket, and it's like, I'm ready.
Yeah, and Addie's like, absolutely not. So she like trades outfits with her basically. Yeah. And then they go to send Sibby in, and she gets the flash drive swapped, and goes to get out. But when she leaves the building, someone is like crossing, like it's like she opened the door and someone's like on the sidewalk right there, and they hit her. They knock off the like chest cam that Zade had equipped her with, and she kind of like so Sibby's thing is that she's very like scent like driven. Yeah. And she's like, oh, like you smell nice, like I'm not gonna like bother you, or like, and she's like, oh, like thanks for like stopping me because he like ran into her kind of thing, and she tries to like brush it off, and the guy's like, haven't I seen you before? And she's like, no. And she's like, I'm just an oddball, and like goes on her way.
Yeah.
And it turns out he absolutely recognized her.
From TV, yeah.
Absolutely recognized
America's
her.
Most Wanted.
Yes, called the cops, and now Zade is in this like high-speed chase.
Yes. And this high-speed chase is hilarious.
Yes.
Because, of course, Addie loves the
thrill.
She loves, of course, Addie loves the thrill. So she is, like, getting, for lack of a better word, aroused.
Yeah, like, she's definitely, like, excited. She's
excited.
She's getting that, like, adrenaline rush.
And then, like, Zade and her are having, like, this, like, kind of, like, heat between them.
Yeah.
And Zade is like, Addie, baby, I'm going to need you to stop. Please. I'm kind of busy trying to evade the police. I'm going to need you to, like, chill out. Yeah. And she's like, what? I'm not doing anything. Meanwhile, like, there's like this electric chemistry between them. And then Sibby starts taking her clothes off in the back.
Because she sees them getting horny and was like, oh, okay, like, it's time.
And then, like, Addie is like, Sibby, put your clothes on. What are you doing? You're freaking crazy.
Because first of all, nothing's going to happen between us. And second of all, even if it did, you wouldn't be invited. And Sibby's like, what a fun sucker.
Yeah, literally. Like, it was such a funny scene.
It was a funny scene. And so, like, they get away from the cops.
You know the song that's playing in my head during this scene? It's bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they call for it?
Oh,
and then, like,
God.
it's like his black Mustang, like, going over like a hill, and then, like, he's going so fast that, like, it, like, boom.
Yeah. And so anyway. they like get away from the cops. They make it back to Addie's house just fine.
Yeah.
And they're like, Sibby, get the fuck out of the car.
Yeah, you need to go away, Sibby. Okay.
Because it's about to get spicy.
It does get spicy.
And because we know that Addie is still kind of like in this headspace of like not comfortable with being touched.
Yeah.
So she like he like slides the seat back and he's like, get over here.
It's funny that you say slides the seat back and is like, get over here. Like, the way that you said it was very, like, slow or whatever. I imagined it like, Sibby, get out. And then, like, get over here now. I imagined it as.
Yeah, fair enough.
I thought that was, like, funny.
Yeah.
And, like, I like the fact that they go through, like, what they had in the past where it's like he can see her thinking, should I just, like, get out and run?
Yeah.
Or should I, like, stay?
Yeah.
And she makes the decision to stay.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I thought that the author was very creative with this scene.
With the cigarette?
Yes. I thought it was very creative because it gives a certain amount of time for her to be like, okay, this is too much, I'm done.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's like still like, yes, I want to do this, but like I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like when you give yourself a goal, there's an end goal in sight, so you know that you can make it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So basically in this scene, she lights a cigarette, like Adeline gets on Zade, lights a cigarette, and basically tells him, you have until this cigarette runs out to touch me.
Yeah.
And so, like, he touches her, like, everywhere that's, like, normal. He doesn't touch her anywhere that's, like, explicit. Like, he gets close, but he doesn't touch her anywhere that's, like, sexually explicit.
Yeah.
And it's, like, in part, like, because this is his perspective. In part, it's for, like, it serves the purpose of him reminding her, like, how much she wants to be with him.
Yes.
But also, something that he doesn't mention is that it also serves the purpose of allowing her to be accustomed to getting touched in areas that are not sexual.
Yes. But it's still sensual.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I liked it a lot, and I feel like it also kind of pulled in very nicely their conversation about, like, happiness is fleeting.
Yeah.
Where it's like this, you have this, like, finite
amount of time.
Cigarette, yes, exactly. Where it's like, it's only going to burn for a certain amount of time.
And she takes puffs of it too.
Yeah.
So she makes it, if she wants it to go faster. She can make it go faster.
Yes, and I think there's also, like, something to be said for the fact of, like, on the one hand, it's like she is only having to endure physical touch for so much time, right? And it makes it as, like, a moment that she can, like, get through. But also the way that I took it is it's a finite amount of time that she is allowing herself to shut her brain off and not feel guilty about enjoying being with him.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
like learning how to let her brain do that again.
Yeah.
And if she can only do it for a minute, great, you made it through a minute, you know?
Yeah.
And then it's like you can tell that she was enjoying it, because then it's like the car, you know, gets like smoked up. And so then she's like in the moment. And then so then Zade is like, you have until the smoke like dissipates to kiss me. And she like goes for it.
Yeah.
She like lunges for that kiss. And then all of a sudden she's like, the smoke is gone. And she like gets out of the car.
Yeah.
Like it never happened.
Yeah.
But I was like, ooh, like we're starting to we're starting to heal. Which was lovely. And that's the end of that chapter.
29.
Yeah, so now we're on chapter 29, which is also still from Zade's perspective. And it just opens with this goofy scene of them being like, why does he run like that? They're talking about some guy running like he's got something shoved up his butt, basically. Yeah. And we learn that it's Rick. He's hunted down Rick.
Oh, yeah, I remember this scene.
And he like hunts him down and kills him, basically. Yeah. And the like one bit of comedy that I liked about this is that like he's not killing him super quickly.
No.
And Jay is in the earpiece and he's like, Z, are you playing with your food again?
Yeah.
And I cracked up at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he decides to like kill Rick. And then he's like kind of having this inner dialogue of like, okay, we got Rick, and like I know Addie has no grievances about Rick being dead, but she hasn't said it aloud, but I know she doesn't want Rio dead, which like pisses me off, because he's like, I can't entirely blame her. She like had someone that she formed a trauma bond with, and he's like, on the one hand, like I really fucking hate that, but also on the other hand, like
he got her through some stuff
too. Exactly. So I feel like we're starting to see a turning point in his thought process a little bit.
I say let Rio work off his debts to humanity.
But how do you even like...
How do you even what?
How do you even say like, yeah, you've like paid off your debt? You know, like how do you like...
When he dies in the line of action.
I'm going to have to meditate on that. I don't know how I feel about that.
The other thing that he could do is tell him like, you're not going to see your sister. Until I say so. And that's a form of like, that is a form of punishment.
Yeah.
And
that makes him no better than anybody else though.
Well, not necessarily. He did save his sister. He could have not saved his sister.
I know, but like the same form of, it was still the same punishment of like none of them were letting Rio see his sister. So now like Zade's no different than them for not letting him see his sister.
Not really, because his sister's safe. And he knows nothing bad's gonna happen to his sister.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't know.
Like if Rio decides to like escape, what's gonna happen is Zade's gonna hunt him down and just kill him.
Open season, yeah.
It's just but nothing is gonna happen to his sister.
Okay, fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
I just think that you have Rio obviously has some skills. Okay. This is gonna sound weird, but I kind of equate it to like, have you seen The Pit?
No.
Okay. Spoiler alert for The Pit. Or not spoiler alert for The Pit. Whatever. I'll try to use a different example. But you know how it takes so long to train a doctor?
Yeah.
That when doctors have issues, whether it's like some kind of psych stuff or even like substance abuse.
Yeah.
Your license is not taken away.
Like we rehabilitate.
You try to rehabilitate first because of how long it takes to get someone to the point to be able to practice.
Yeah, they're an investment.
So you try to rehabilitate the person, right?
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I think Rio has a certain set of skills that would be useful to the Z organization.
Fair enough.
And because he is not someone that was in the trafficking for the purpose of trafficking people, he was in it because his sister got taken and he tried to find her and then got caught up in
Wrapped
everything
up in it,
and had her hanging over his head.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a better use of, for lack of a better word, like talent, and a better use of him repenting by putting him in situations as like a double agent or someone trying to get girls out.
Yeah, okay.
And you have the added benefit of Zade, you hate him, you want him dead. Well, guess what? If he dies in the line of action or if he gets captured, you're not going to try to save him.
Yeah. Okay. I think I would have to meditate on this a little bit. I think my only grievance with this suggestion is like, what if he never dies in the line of action, right? What right does any other person have to say he is now karmically like absolved?
Well, this is not karmically absolved. This is Z saying,
I no longer want to kill you.
Yeah, like this is a life debt. This is a agreement that they would have to have between them. Yeah. Because also, like, how is it gonna affect Zade and Addie's relationship if he does kill Rio? Like, how, you know what I mean? Like, Zade does have something to lose. Yeah. In the sense of, like, maybe he won't actually lose Addie, but it'll be, like, it's like where they're going, they're going to get, like, three steps down. A bump back,
yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I think I got to think about, like, my thought is, like, I just have a hard time with people being like the decider of other people's karma. But
it's not karma. Like it's not okay, you've balanced the scales. It's Zade now will let you live because you are useful. And I'm not gonna kill you. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's like the karmic stuff, that's between him and God and whatever higher power exists. Yeah. That is not. Yeah. No person can do that. This is, how does Rio live with himself? Because he has to have guilt. Oh, yeah. How does he work towards rehabilitating himself? Yeah. While doing some good in the world? Not to offset the bad that he's done, but to make it so that his life was worth something.
And maybe it'll come about that he gets to see Katerina in the, like, safe house and realizes, like, I am going to also, like, in the same way that Addie sees them in the safe house and is like, I am dedicated to, like, stopping the bad. Yeah. So, like, maybe it'll be something like that. Yeah. I feel like my gut is telling me that it's not going to end with Rio being killed by Zade. Yeah. I feel like that's just, like, my gut reaction is that, like, just the same way that Zade has now had Addie question, like, her morals and be like, you got to figure it out for yourself. I feel like she also is going to
question him,
challenge him to be like, does it have to be so black and white? Yeah. You know? Yeah. So we'll see. And we get now, like, our last chapter for this chunk is chapter 30, and it's a time jump 1 month later. Mm-hmm. And finally, they have found Francesca and Rocco through, like, this freak accident where, like, they're in a diner.
Francesca being a bitch.
Being a bitch to a waitress, and the waitress, like, runs into her, and her sunglasses get knocked off, and now the Face ID.
And she slaps the waitress, so the police come. Hey, baby, you want to get back up here? Yeah.
Hello, come over here. Hello. Yeah, so she was in true Francesca fashion. She was being really rude to this waitress and, like, slaps her. And Rocco has to, like, basically, like, fight the police. Yeah. And they end up, like, speeding off. And
Jay, like, Face ID. Yes.
And catches him. Yep, he follows the car straight back to the hotel where they're staying. Or so motel.
They know where they're at. And it's like, oh.
Yep. It's getting good. Exactly. So Addie's like, okay, it's showtime. Like,
we got him.
Because now she's been heavily training for, like,
she's a
while.
total badass now.
Yeah, exactly. She's
like built muscle, like ready up. To pow pow.
Yeah, she's been training. And so, like, we get this, like, scene where she, like, knocks on the door and she's like, room service. And, like, you hear Francesca and Rocco, like,
go away,
fighting. And they're, like, being, like, Francesca's being a bitch to Rocco. And she's like, you know, like, things are already bad. Like, it's not going to get any worse. We haven't even heard from Claire, blah, blah, blah. And she, like, bangs on the door again and is like, room service. And Francesca's like, fuck you. And
opens the door and sees her face and is like, oh. Yeah. And this is where I say Addie goes, go Power Ranger on her. Because she's like, turns into, like, a badass.
Yeah, she's just like, hey Francesca, did you miss me? And then like bang, gets her with the drug.
Yeah.
And then she has
Knocks
to like
her out.
yeah, she has to like have a little bit of like a scuffle with Rocco. I mean, he's a big dude. But she eventually gets him unconscious too. And Zade comes in and she's like, yo, like, were you not gonna fucking help me? And he's like,
You had it handled.
You had it handled. Well done. And then she's looking at them and she's like, frick, these people look heavy. And so Zade carries them to the car to like shove Francesca in the trunk and shove Rocco in the back seat. And they take off like on their little like private plane and they end up bringing them back to Parson's Manor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they're gonna like
put them in the basement.
Torture them.
Yeah.
And I just love that this chapter ends with Sibby being like, oh, they smell positively rotten.
Yeah.
And she's like, because, you know, she's very like scent dependent.
Yeah.
And so she's like, one smells like rotten eggs and the other one smells like rotten pumpkin. And Addie and Zade are like, rotten pumpkin? Like,
I bet that one's Francesca.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's just funny that they were like, what? And so, yeah, that's how the chapter ends. And that's where we ended.
What did you think of Zade letting Addie have at it? Like,
oh, he should have.
Yeah. Like, he was there just to observe and to, like, let her, like, get it, like, let her see that she can do it, and then he's just there for support.
Yeah, I feel like it's... Sorry, I'm handling my sticky note graveyard. I feel like it's my same mentality of, like, how I hope to be as an attending that trains future residents. In the sense that, like, I know as a trainee... This was a bad idea. These sticky notes are all going to blow everywhere. Like, I know as a trainee, I can't stand it when I have an attending that micromanages.
Yeah.
I know that I'm like, look, I'm going into like a surgical subspecialty, and I know that I have prepped a certain amount, you know, like I know these steps really well.
Yeah.
Let me show you that I can do it with you watching and ready to jump in should I be about to do something unsafe.
Yeah.
But give me the opportunity to show that I can do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's exactly what Zade did. He was like, I'm here if you need me, but I'm gonna give you the chance to show both me and yourself
that you can do it.
That you can do it. Because also there's something to be said if I'm Zade and I know that Addie like wants to work with me in my organization in the future.
You need to vet her.
If I see that she can take out her own abusers, I know she can take out people that are not her like she has no personal connection to them. Yeah, exactly. So the fact that she could do that to Francesca and Rocco and be okay, I think it also like solidified for him like, yeah, she can do this. And that's where we leave off, is just like,
that's where we had to put the book down. Could you believe it? Where we had to put the book down
for like 3 weeks.
Pick it up for 3 weeks.
Yes.
I started reading another book.
Yeah, I also started reading another book. So yeah, I feel like we've kind of been predicting as we go. I hope Addie gets the satisfaction of being the one that kills Claire.
Oh yeah.
I really hope so.
Oh yeah.
I think that we are gonna get that. I hope we get that like vindication. You know, that Francesca, Rocco, and Claire dead.
And Xavier.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about him.
He's the one I want to see get his comeuppance.
Yeah, and then I feel like I do feel like Rio is not gonna end up dead. I don't know where I actually see him like fitting into things, but my gut is like I don't think he's gonna end up dead.
Yeah. Forgiveness, but with shackles.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Conditional forgiveness.
That's it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really hoping for like Addie and Zade to have their happy ending. You know.
Yeah, and for them to adopt little baby Sarah.
That would be super cute if they
did.
So cute. That would be super.
But Sibby
cute.
needs to get her own apartment.
Yeah, Sibby needs to move out.
That is not a safe place for a child.
No, it's not. Her just like randomly stripping everywhere in the house. Like, no. So yeah, I also hope that like we get some like long like scene of her dealing with Francesca and Rocco, and like I
want to know what Sydney
had hanging over her head.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I feel like if we don't get more backstory into
answers.
Yes, if we don't get more backstory into Francesca and some more answers, I'm going to feel like that's a big hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like we kind of have said several times, like, I think Francesca might have been trafficked and then, like, figured out how to make herself useful and then became, like, the, like, mistress of this house or, like, something to that extent.
What does it take for another woman to put another woman through this?
Yeah. Because it's, like, we got from Claire that she just was, like, like, couldn't beat them, so, like, why not lead them, you know? And I feel like Claire...
That was so, like, just, like, not... That was so, like, not a satisfying villain origin story.
Yeah.
In the sense of, like... Because also, Claire was not, like, at least from what we know, she was more so a battered wife.
Yeah.
Not, like, sexually abused.
Like, trafficked. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I feel like we might get some more details very soon about Francesca.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It was a very good 10-chapter chunk. It
was good. It went by real fast.
Yes, it started to heal me in a good way. Because I know I started to read these 10 chapters before you, and I was like, I promise it's on the way up. I promise. Yeah. And you were like, oh, really? I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because I know after that last 10-chapter chunk, it was, like, hard to be like, should I pick up this book again?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had that feeling of, like, I'm not going to finish this book. But, like, I was just, like, it was more like I needed justice.
Yeah.
And we're getting justice.
We're starting to get the justice. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So. I feel like before this 10-chapter chunk, I was like, dang, like, this is not...
That was tough.
Not good for my, like, well-being. And I think I learned from this, I am a Diet Dr. Dark kind of person, where I'm like, okay, actually...
These are not for me.
It's... don't get me wrong, like, I have found things to enjoy.
Yes, I agree with that.
But
this is not for me.
I will not be reading this book as a reread. I will not be, like, looking for ones where it's like, if you liked Haunting Adeline, you'll like this. And I'm like, no, I think I'm a
Diet Dr. Dark.
Yeah, or even just, like, a little bit of, like, honestly,
a misunderstood, like, male main character, and that's about it.
Yes.
Nothing further than that, please.
Yes, I need my, like, I think, you know what it really is that there's a lot going on in the real world, and, like, our careers are not the lightest thing, where I'm like, you know, I think I've realized that I want to escape the real world in my reading.
In your reading,
not read about real traumatic things.
I completely agree. Especially since, like, we're gonna be seeing death, patients with cancers, patients that have been trafficked, patients that are, like, seeing us possibly in the worst moments of their lives. Yeah. And I just think that I want to escape into a world with fairy tales and really, like, attractive men and dragons. Yeah. That's what I want to do. Exactly. I just want to go and, like, garden and be like, doo, 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 doo. Yeah. Everyone gets, like, their love match. Everybody ends up happy. Like, absolutely. If you need a cleanser book after this one, Spell Shop is a really good one. Oh my God, I feel like at the end of every episode you say that. This is just marketing for Spell Shop. Oh my God, yeah, that's so funny. I feel like you need to get, like, endorsed for that at this point. I hope so. That's funny. I need the money. I still need to read it. But yeah, I think that's everything we have for you this time. So, like, thanks for listening. Never stop reading, and we will see you next time.